Gareth, it's Ben O'Shea from the
Hey,
West Australian Perth. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? What time is it there? It must be crazy time.
1 a.m.?
I'm sorry.
1 a.m.?
It feels like, if it makes you feel
That's
better, it feels
fine.
like 1 a.m. to me because I've got jet lag, so we're in the same boat.
Well, look, I heard you just before. And look, you don't look old at all because you're about the same age as me, which means you're about the same age when Spielberg's Jurassic Park came out. What sort of impact did that film have on you at the time?
A massive one. I basically, you know, that summer it came out was the summer I went to film school, and it changed everything. My flatmate, it was 1993, if I've got that correctly, and my flatmate was studying computer animation, this brand new thing in the world, and it opened my eyes to this new type of filmmaking, and ended up buying a computer, learning how to do dinosaurs in my bedroom, and I thought what I'd do is I'd learn how to do dinosaurs, and then I'd go make a movie with that skill set in a few months. Cut to 15 years later, and I'm still doing computer graphics, trying to learn how to do it well. And I drew a dotted line in the sand and went, I've got to make a film. And I thought it was going to be my only film I ever made. I made this very low budget movie. And because of that, it was me trying to audition for Jurassic. It was like a monster movie in the jungles, with electric fences and things. And the idea that I'm now here talking about a Jurassic film that I've managed to direct somehow is kind of incredibly surreal.
Well, you've done a Jurassic Park film, you've done a Godzilla film, you've done a Star Wars film. I'm guessing teenage Gareth would be pretty proud of you right now.
It's weird. My girlfriend sent me someone had tweeted or put a meme together on the internet which said Gareth Edwards doing Godzilla, Star Wars, and Jurassic is the kind of greed they warned us about in the Bible. It's like, I feel really bad. I feel like I can't do another one. I've like got to step aside, step away, let other people have a crack at this.
Yeah, exactly. It's a biblical level of greed. I don't actually know, as a director, where you go from these sort of three iconic pieces of IP. Like, do you take on a Mickey Mouse movie? I don't know.
Maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's like,
It's a
James
mashup. I
Bond,
love it.
Avatar thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't
I
really. The thing
think,
is,
yeah.
there's only two. I hate the word franchise, right? But there's only two franchises that I would have just dropped absolutely everything for, and I'd already done one of them, which was Star Wars. and so basically, this had my full attention. It was like you can't say no to this.
Yeah, and I loved the aesthetic of all your films. The creator, for example, I thought was just one of the most gorgeous films to look at. Incredible. So I'd love to know where you started with Jurassic World Rebirth in terms of what you wanted to do visually with this film.
Well, the first thing I did that I think was a good choice is I hired a director of photography called John Matheson. He did Gladiator and Kingdom of Heaven, and I think Kingdom of Heaven to me is one of the best pieces of cinematography in this century. And so when we got him, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And then the other thing we did, we shot it on 35mm film. I wanted this to feel like the experience I had as a kid when I went to the cinema and watched Jurassic Park. And so it's all shot on film. We used the cameras that they shot those movies on, and these old lenses, these anamorphic widescreen lenses and everything. The goal was as if Universal Studios opened up their vault and found, like, basically pulled out a reel of film and dusted it off, and it said Jurassic World Rebirth. They were like, we don't remember doing this, you know what I mean? And essentially it's like a film from the early 90s that they forgot they made, and they'd like been sitting on a shelf for like 32 years, and like they're going to finally release it. We wanted it to have that kind of vibe about it.
It's exactly how it felt watching it. Like
Oh,
it
thanks.
felt like an old school 90s blockbuster, but with the kind of the sort of more modern dialogue and sort of more modern sensibilities. And I thought the combination of that was great. And of course, they gave you a T-Rex to play with. What was that like?
It was tricky. Didn't really do, many different takes. You get the one take and then that's it. T-Rexes don't take direction very well. But what we did do actually is we did say to the animators, please don't invent anything. Please base all your animation on real animal behavior. And so they basically had this massive library of footage, and for every shot in the movie, there's an animal doing exactly what the dinosaur is doing. So we wanted, and I was like challenging them, going, put things in that animals do that you can't control, because if you're really on set trying to direct a T-Rex, stuff would happen where you're like, oh, that wasn't perfect, but we've got to move on, that's take 8, and he's already eaten like 3 members of the crew. So we've got to cut our losses. And so it was trying to find all those little naturalistic little behaviors that make them animalistic, and it just stuff. It's like the perfect version of this film is it's full of stuff, like full of things I would want to like fix, but you can't because animals don't take direction, especially a T-Rex.
Yeah, basically like Steve Coogan in his Penguin movie. It's basically the same.
Right.
So did you have a favorite dinosaur of the ones that appear in the film?
My favorite dinosaur, which is whichever one I'm closest to, because we told each one, they all think they're the star of the film, and it's all starting to dawn on them now they've seen the marketing that there are other dinosaurs, and it's getting very tricky. And you know, I know Universal's trying to renegotiate contracts for a sequel maybe, and they're quite diva-ish. And so, like, you know, I would say the T-Rex. T-Rex is probably my favorite.
Here's an easier question. Which is your favorite actor in the film?
Oh, gosh. That's even harder, actually. I could say the same answer.
This is the one where people might actually get offended.
Yeah.
So tell me about, I won't put you on the spot with that one. That was a joke. But I would love to know what you appreciated most about what Scarlett brought to the table in this role that's so central to the film.
Yeah, there's lots of things, could take an hour talking about Scarlett. I think one of the things maybe that's interesting is that she basically, at Cannes this year, she screened her first directorial debut of a movie she made. And it's always nerve-wracking for a director when you're working with an actor who's also a filmmaker, because you start to go, oh no, what's going to happen here? Are they going to start like directing, telling me like how the shot should look and things like this? And the other opposite is true as well. Sometimes you can end up with an actor that totally understands all your pain and everything you're trying to achieve, and so they can help you as well. So like, if I'm trying to do some like fancy shot where I want to just flow it a certain way and have the audience look in some direction, and then they twist it and suddenly they realize something's behind her or whatever it is, she'll go with that rather than going, well, my character wouldn't walk that way or sit that place. She'll figure out all the reasons to do that because she knows it's storytelling, and she'll find, find an excuse as to why, can still get a great performance out of her, and I think that was really useful.
I was speaking to Rupert shortly. I think he's so fantastic as the sort of, slippery big pharma guy. Tell me about working with him on this film.
Rupert's got the best sense of humor. We watched the world premiere, and my girlfriend hadn't seen the movie, and so we had this massive big day, and then there was an after party, and the next day I was just sat with her, and I ended up going, what was the favorite thing that happened to you yesterday? And I'm secretly sitting there thinking, you just say seeing the movie, Gareth. That's the answer. And she thought about it, and she went, chatting to Rupert in the after party. And I was like, what? More than watching the movie? And then she was like, no, it's just he's so funny. Like, he's such a funny guy. He would basically make my life like so much fun on set. Don't tell him this, because I have a relationship with him where I mock him the whole time and insult him as much as possible, and he does the same to me. But what would happen is you would be doing a shot and you'd say cut, and you'd just be stood next to him, and he would just start talking about something totally random, but really seriously, and he'd stop, and he'd basically criticize me, and then I would criticize him, and we'd do it really straight. And our whole friendship, if you want to call it that, is based on mutual mockery, sarcastic, really dry. Like, I just basically always take the mickey out of him, and he does the same to me. So I love him as a person. Like, despite him being a great actor, I every time he's in the room, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, perfect. Well, when I speak to him, I'll say, oh, sorry, mate, Gareth said you were absolutely crap in this film.
Yeah. Say, and the worst person he's ever had to work with. He'll know where it's coming from.
Done. Thank you. We've run out of time, Gareth. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for Jurassic World Rebirth, and also Rogue One. Oh my gosh. As a lifelong Star Wars fan, that film is just spectacular. And enjoy promoting this one.
Thanks a lot. Cheers for that. Thank you.